I'm Aurora, and you clicked on this video because you want to learn how to paint a portrait with me. So I work with acrylic. I've tried using oil. It's not really my forte, so I'm gonna give you a whole bunch of tips and basically explain step by step how I'm going to do this portrait. Here are the colors I'm going to be using. If you want to paint along with me, I'm going to try to make this as easy to follow along as possible. I have titanium white, but you can use whatever white you want. This little square right here indicates how transparent the paint will be, so like how see-through it is when you layer it onto other colors. This is fully covered. There's a little bit of white paint over it, but that's a fully black square, so that means that this white paint has no translucency whatsoever. You're gonna see how that works in our favor later on. This is sky blue from Master's Touch. And then on the back we have that square, so this is half transparent. And then this is also from Master's Touch. It is violet and also half opaque. That's what they call it. Something else that I use that I find very useful is Folk Art Blending Gel. I've had this blending gel for such a long time. It is, I don't know how well you can see it, but, oh, there it is. The line is like right here. So as you can see, I've used a lot of it over the years. I've had this for a very long time. Basically, this extends blending time for blendability for our acrylics. So I might use that at some point. And then something else you're gonna need is a lovely spray bottle to spray down your canvas. If you don't have a spray bottle, you could always use like a wet rag, or I don't know, you can get creative with it. You could use a sponge, something. And I also want you to know that you can do this with whatever colors that you want. It really doesn't matter. I think that you can use whatever color as long as you're paying attention to the value, meaning the lightness or the darkness of the color. And that's kind of what I do with a lot of my artworks. Sometimes I think about the color, like, I'm like, is this complementary? Do these kind of go together? But in reality, I can use whatever colors I want for whatever, as long as the values make sense, because that's how it makes sense in our brains. And that's how we end up with really colorful portraits. All right, so we're gonna get started. Here we go. All right, so this is a very fresh canvas. It still has the plastic on it. There, you can kind of see it. So I'm gonna remove the plastic. I need to buy expensive canvas for it to be just as good as the other ones. So something I always do before actually getting to the painting is spraying the back of the canvas. I wanna make sure to like get up underneath all these corners. It will help tighten the canvas. And it just overall improves the painting experience. Just trust. All right, let's do this. All right, now we're gonna wait for it to fully dry before we go ahead and start with the painting. All right, so now that you've done that, the canvas should sound like a drum. Pretty neat. All right, and now we can move on to sketching our portrait that I've got printed out here that we're gonna paint today onto the canvas before we do anything. I'm going to try to judge where everything should be. Head, eye, nose, mouth, and then our chin. All right. Side of her face. She has a nice draw line. And then neck. We're not gonna draw on her ear because it's not showing. I'm sketching hair. And then her shoulders. Have like this necklace. And then let's give her a little thing right here. All right, and then her hair. So her hairline, it looks like she has a middle part. So let's just go up. Her skull goes up like that. So we're kind of filling that in. And then we're just gonna go down. It looks like it goes past her shoulder. Like that. And then we're just trying to follow the same shapes. It goes down and this way. And that curves around her face. One goes straight down. And it starts to like curve over her shoulder. We're just thinking in shapes when we're trying to do this hair. Not treating it as individual strands. We're trying to find each of the shapes. And then this goes kind of like out. And then it goes over her shoulder like that. I have some piecey pieces going out like that. And then there's our base drawing. Alright, if we want to, we can sketch in the eyes. Like that. And then for this eye, we're gonna make it curve in like this because it's at an angle. And then it goes up and that way. That's how I like to do eyes. It's like one step at a time and then it more easily matches. I'm drawing the iris for fun. Eyelids. I don't know. I might just paint over all this anyway. And then the nose. Draw the ball of the nose. And then the little nostril. This little nostril is kind of covered up, but there we go. And the bridge of her nose. And then it goes down. There's a gap. She has a little cupid's bow. I'm really thinking about the angle of the lips. And then there we go. All right, there's our little rough sketch here. I think her eyebrows are gonna be fun to paint later. Yeah. There's our sketch of our portrait. So now that we have our sketch, you can either use a normal eraser and just make sure that all the little bits are wiped off really good, or you can use a kneaded eraser. I will be using a kneaded eraser. I'm gonna roll it like this. And I'm rolling to collect some extra graphite Sometimes I just like to smear it like this. It's okay if we have, oh, it's okay if we have some extra graphite, like I get it all over my hand and then it's all over this, but that's fine because we're gonna be covering this up anyway. Now that we have this, we are going to wet our canvas. And the reason why we're doing this is because it is going to thin out the acrylic. I'm choosing blue for our base color, but it could be whatever color you want. So let's do this. Very wet, right? I'm just putting some color on there. And now I'm going to take my 2-inch brush. As you can see, it's thoroughly stained with pink. And now we're going to go over our sketch. And if it's too thick like this, you know what we're gonna do? Take some water to it. There, now we can see our sketch underneath. I'm painting the edges, but you don't have to paint the edges if you don't want to. All right, now that this is dry, I have to decide something. So I'm gonna decide whether or not I want her skin to be blue or purple because that's the color palette we're working on right now. Personally, I was thinking I could do blue and then maybe like some of the pinker tones in the face will be purple. Like, I know I'm using a black and white reference, but you know, I can kind of like judge where the pinks would be, like in the cheeks and the lips. So yeah, we're gonna get to that. Let's do it. So how I'm gonna do this is, look at this thing, it's filled. So I might as well just put it right over the same color that I have right here. So I have my blue on there. I'm going to take some white. All I'm gonna do is take some white, put it over here, take a little bit of blue, put it over here, and mixy. You can also use a palette knife with this. It's just that my palette is really, what's the word? It's loaded. It has a lot of jagged stuff on it, and so it's kind of hard to mix on there. So right now I'm going to make a mid-tone. So this is still a little light. I'm just gonna add a little bit more blue. There we go. Maybe I'll make it a little darker. There we go. All right. All right, so I'm going to start by just putting this all around her face, basically. This is what I do. So I'm gonna really think about shapes and just go around face. It's okay if it's a little messy. Her hair is gonna cover it up. And might as well go over her eyebrows. I'm trying to go around like the important parts, like where the actual nose sits. So like, you see how we have these shadows right here? I'm trying to go around the shadows so that I can just make out the values of the face a little bit easier, but I'm also just trying to get a solid base because I don't, it gives me something to work off of, you know. This is just personally my process. Yeah, I do have to reshape the lips a little bit, but we'll go back and do that later. I want to do the neck. Looks like the shadow basically goes like this. We have some bare skin peeking through. seriously just trying to fill in all the areas that the skin will be. You know what? I've decided it's high up enough on her bust where, I don't know. I don't really want to include the shirt too much because I think it's going to feel a little bit too high up. So we're just going to do this. I'm going to do the hair later because it's going to go over all these areas. I'm going to play around with this purple a little bit. Maybe we'll include that into the shadow. So I have some violet and some sky blue, and I'm just gonna take it, mix them together like this. Ooh, that's already a pretty color. And by including some purple in the face, it will go together a bit more with her purple hair, you know? And then let's just add a little bit of white. Maybe a little bit more blue. A bit more. A touch of purple. There, now that we have a pretty in-between blue and purple right here, let's add in some shadows. All right. So for instance, we have a shadow right here from her brow around her nose, on the edge of her nose. So let's include that right now. I'm just going to go down and wrap around here. Hold on. I'm gonna grab a smaller brush and I'm going to throw some in a little bit right here. And maybe a little bit underneath the eye. I don't know. I'm just kind of playing around. All right, going to add this little dark spot, that little bit right there, and a little shadow for under the lips. All right, now I'm going to take the same color, add some white to it. Sometimes I just have to like play around with values and stuff. All right, let's put a little bit more blue in there. We need to make it a little darker. There we go. Okay, and there's this little shadow. Oh, look at how dark that is compared to that. I'm gonna blend with my finger here. Goes from her lip over and then up like the side of her face, and then like down around her chin. Cute. And then let's soften the shadow right here. I do a lot of blending with my fingers. Personally, I think that helps a lot. All right, and now there's some shadows like up here in her hair. I think I extended the forehead a little bit too far out to the right. But that's okay, because we're gonna fix it. Beautiful. I'm gonna add a little bit more shading on the eyelids. We can always throw the highlights back in there later if we go too dark. Gorgeous. We can go down the side of the nose here. Just slowly building up the forms. There's a little shadow like right there. Maybe that's how she did her makeup, I don't know. Some people do that with their makeup. Gorgeous. And now let's I'm gonna add a little bit purple, a little bit of white. It's too dark. Let's just test it out. I don't know if that's the right color, but we're gonna see. All right, so it's like just below the eye, like around here. Ooh. Ooh, that's pretty. That's a pretty pink. Kind of pretty pinky purple. Then I can go with my finger. I don't want to go too far in with the blush. Let's do a little bit on the other side, just kind of poking out. Cute. Where else could this blush go? Could go like around her nose, just a little bit. We'll warm it up. Could go around her eyes. I sometimes like to make my portraits feel a little like tired looking, a little emo. That's what I'm doing here. No, on portraits, they can be exact, but they don't have to be. You can exaggerate what you want to do, you know? Also, it's just so cool how this color looks so like you would not think this is pink, but on here it's kind of like a pinky color, you know? I think that's neat. I think that's really neat. I'm just gonna bring this up a little bit for fun, because I've seen people do that with their blush. They bring it up. There we go. All right. Let's do a little bit on the chin. Let's just put it everywhere. I don't know. I think it's cute. And maybe we'll put some on her shoulder. Blending. Oh well. I got this pink a little bit. And then I just rubbed it off. It's fine. Cute. And now, okay. I want to go back to this first shaded blue that we have, and I'm going to put some shadows on her neck. Got this bone right there. This is gonna be a little bit shaded because of the hair. And this is darker, her shoulders protruding. And it's slowly fading into her chest area. Okay, I'm gonna mix in a little bit of white with this color and help me blend it in. I don't know, that might have been too much. No, actually that works. There we go. Boom. All right, let's put this color in this shadow right here. And following along this hairline. Let's put some right there too. A little bit more white. And I'm gonna throw in a little bit more blue so that it matches this first color that we have. And then it's going to look a bit more blended. Might have went a little too far, but that's okay. Alright, we can always go back to this color, this darker purpley blue. Go back. Do that shadow. Alright, and then we can do this really dark one. Let's do purple, right there, blue, right there, mixy mixy. I think that'll work fine. I'm gonna go around her jawline. The darkest right there. Gorgeous. And go down. And then I'm going to throw in a little bit of white with this color. And then go right next to it. That wasn't even much white and it changed it so drastically. It's interesting. And then I'm gonna go back to my dark purple color and go over this. Oh geez. Let me throw in a little bit more purple in there. More blue, that's too purple. There we go. Gorgeous. Okay. I'm gonna go in, add a little white to that, mixy mixy. Putting some of it on top so it blends. I'm just working right on the wet paint. Smudge. Now I'm gonna add even more white. Try to get this to blend with this color. No, that's too much. That's too much. Jeez. Okay. Okay, wait. Let's make that a bit lighter right there. try to make it a bit of a smoother transition. All right, I'm gonna leave that there. Maybe I can include some of this dark purple like on the shoulder right here, or maybe like right next to this, by her collarbone. Yeah, you can come in. All right, and now I'm going to, okay. So, I still think I'm missing some like transition colors around the face. So I'm just, I don't know, maybe we'll go in with like blue and add some white because that's way too dark. I'm gonna try to make it similar to this blue right here. Maybe I should put it next to each other. There we go. Nice, good comparison. Let me just scoop this paint from over there to right here. I still think that might be a little too dark. There we go. We're trying to get close to the color. We're not trying to be exact, but that seems pretty close, just slightly darker. All right, and now I would like to do some shading around the lower jaw. So, So as you can see, there's some shading right here that kind of goes down and around her chin. So I'm just gonna go around. Beautiful. I'm just trying to think in shapes right now. Then I'm gonna go around her jaw like this. And then this kind of goes up into this blush area. I'm just gonna fill this in. Beautiful. All right, and then let's have some of this color up here around the nose. And because the white is so opaque, and I have a lot of white in this right now, it's allowing me to actually cover up the darks a lot better than if it were a thin white. Let's include this over here, a little matchy-matchy. I don't know, I think I brought this shadow a little too far out, so we're just gonna try to blend it. And then this side of the face is a bit darker than that side. I definitely did bring this cheek a little too far out. We're gonna cover that with the hair later, that's all right. All right. We can look at planes of the forehead. So the planes of the forehead are divided in 3. So here's like the front is like this, then you have the sides. Looks like there's a teeny tiny bit of shading above where the eyebrow would be, so I'm gonna put that in there. Just blend it down. Gorgeous. And maybe let's have some of this lighter color just like go up around the eyes. And then there's a little dark bit like right here. I'm just gonna take this color, put like the littlest bit of our purple that we have over here. Mixy mixy. It's just slightly different, but it will make a difference on the canvas. Cute. All right, and now I want the side of her nose to be brighter because it's facing us, facing the light. So I'm just making this little bit right here. And let's do the little inside edge of her nose. There we go. Maybe let's cover that up. Cute, I like it. All right, let's make it a little brighter. Taking the same color we were just using, mixing some white in it. And then I'm gonna highlight the tip of her nose. And I wanna highlight the bridge of her nose. There we go. Now we can do the same thing to these little things right here. Go around the edge of her lips with this highlight. And maybe we'll touch the chin. And we'll definitely use this on our eyelids. Gonna use this on the corner inside of the lid. There we go. And then, she has a little highlight on her cheek. Cute. I'll just add a hint of it over here. Okay, now, it's getting close. I can tell it's getting close. All right, I want to put some attention on our neck. Maybe we'll put a little highlight on the shoulder for fun, make it cute. All right, I'm gonna clean out my brush because I want to just be in the blue tones. I want my blue. I'm going to put it over this light blue so I have a direct comparison. I'm going to take my white, mixy. Still too dark. Take more white. I'm going to go next to it, make a different pile. There we go. We also have to keep in mind that acrylic dries slightly darker than when it's wet, unfortunately. So I'm going to make this a little bit lighter than I think I need to make it. And this is my light blue color. All right, so I want to brighten up this side of the forehead. So I'm just going to go in. This is where all the light is hitting. See, when I told you this was just a base, I really meant it. Like, some of it might come through, but I'm not too worried about keeping it. I'm going to add some of this highlight around the eyebrow. I'm going to move this down here. I'm just kind of jumping around right now. I want this to be brighter. I'm moving her lips down a little bit. Sort of just going over my light blue color that I had with this brightness. All right. But it does mean that I have to go in and brighten up some of the pinks that I have. Mm-hmm. So I want to keep some of this shadow right here. So what I'm going to do is take my blending gel, put a drop in there, don't need much, mix it up, and then it's gonna make it a lot easier for me to spread this around with my finger. I'm just putting a little bit here and smearing it to lighten this up a bit. Let's add some brightness over this side of the face. Around the eyes. All right, I want to go in and add in her lips now. Okay, so I just noticed that this shadow is really dark compared to that. So we're gonna fix that really quick. I'm gonna see what this blue looks like right here. I'm going to throw in a little bit of blending gel to make my life easier. Just a drop. But the fact that this isn't smooth, kinda irritating me. All right. I'm taking this lighter color, I'm putting it along here so that I can blend these together. Let me take some purple. Put some blending gel in the purple. I'm gonna be honest, it can be really easy to get sucked into one spot and just work it and work it and work it. And at some point you just have to know when to stop. I'm not at that point yet. I'm almost there though. I'm just feel like it's really close to how I want it to look. You know what? that's pretty gosh darn close, I think. I think I'm gonna pause right there and think about my life decisions, clean out my brush. I'm kind of having beef with her nose right now. Not gonna lie. So we're gonna do her lips. We're gonna make her lips nice and pretty. And then move on. I want her lips to be purple. I'm just gonna go in with straight violet because they're such a dark color, and then I can add in highlights. So, all right. I think this value matches the color of her nostrils, so I think I'm gonna do that right now. Cute. And now, also let's do her eyes. Why not? Let's do her eyeliner. If at any time your paint becomes a little too tacky to spread around, just go ahead and dip your paintbrush in some water and then mix it around in the paint, and then it will help rehydrate it. You know, you'd think that since I can somewhat paint eyeliner confidently, I'd be able to put it on my face. That is far from the truth. And for some reason, it's way easier for me to paint it than for me to do it. So that's great. Okay, now we're gonna do this awesomely and we're not gonna mess it up. Just adding in some little eyelash hairs. Now normally I wouldn't paint them all around like that, but she has a lot of mascara on, so we're just gonna throw it in there and hope it'll be fine. All right. I'm gonna wait to do her top lashes until I know I'm for sure done with the top of the eyelids. So the next thing I'm going to do is shade her lips. And I did kind of exaggerate the points on her lips, but that was more of like an artistic choice. You can do what you want. Heck, you can give her a round lip if you want. We're not going for exact. We're going for pretty. That's what I go for. I'm not trying to like scrutinize myself for little details like that. We're going for, is it pretty? All right. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. So now, I don't know. Something is really bugging me about that nose. And I think maybe if I just make this part around it a little lighter. Here I go, having to find some color that's probably already dried. Okay, I'm just gonna take this purple I found, have some blue, mix it, throw in some white. I mean, that might be close, I don't know. Let's see. That's very close. Ooh. Ooh. I like that. That's awesome. All right. Cool. All right, that's good. That's awesome. Oh, sometimes I forget where my paint is on the palette. All right. Put some of this right here. And let's lighten up this. Cute. All right. I want to really, really lighten up this color, and I want to make the nose even more highlighted. There's a little boop on the nose. Cute. Gorgeous. All right. I love that a lot. I love that so much, actually. Seems to be a little highlight, like underneath the brow. Oh, shoot. Just rub it away. Underneath the brow, so I think I'm just going to do this and kind of like map out where the eyebrow will go. Cute. All right, now I want to do the shading on the lips. Clean up my brush. Okay, so I already added the darkest value on the lips. And now I just need to do my mid-tone and my highlight. So I'm gonna take my purple, put it over here, some white, mixy. And here now we have a mid-tone. All right. Alright, I'm gonna make an in-between color. I think I went a little too light. And I was realizing that I need an in-between between these two colors. Here we go. Because we do have some shadow right along here and some shadow right there and right here. Burley has some intense lip liner. Alright. Just trying to go around. So I guess I just started with my highlight, which is, you know, it's whatever. It's fine. Whatever. Alright. I like that. I think that's cute. We can always go back in with our light color. Add in some spots. I'm trying to paint in the direction that the lips are, or like that the skin goes over the lips. Going back with my darkest dark. Cute. And then we can go in with a really bright color for the sparkly highlight to match everything else we have going on. I'm going to take some white with my purple. I'm gonna make a really, really light purple. I'll make little strokes along the bottom lip. And you can even add it up here if you want to. Cute. Well, I don't really like that one, but that's fine. All right. There we have some juicy lips. And now, let's work on her eyelids. I'm really surprised that my phone has so much storage. I've recorded 100, well, not 100, 1 hour and 15 minutes so far, and I hope I don't jinx it. Really hope I don't, but I am just seriously impressed right now. Okay, we can use some of these lip colors that we just used on our eyes to try to bring together the look a bit. Cute. Okay. Taking my dark purple, I added a little bit of water on my brush. I'm mixing it in so that I can make thin little lines. And then when we're painting eyelashes, we want to curve in the direction of the eye. So like, it's like curving inward. You know what I mean? All right. Start at the base and go up. 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 I like to have some marking points so that I really know what direction and like where to stop. Up. Up. And then up. All right. We do not have to paint every single eyelash, just trying to get the idea of eyelashes in there. If you want to make it a little thicker, you can make them into little triangles, thicker at the base, thinner at the top. Cute. And then I want this line to be a bit thicker because her eyelashes are still there. They're just not shown as much. Make her eyeliner thicker. There we go. Yep. Cute. And now here's the part where we hold our breath. Not actually, don't hold your breath, but this part. There's one. All right. So her eyebrow starts at this little corner, goes up, it extends a little bit. So that's kind of our reference that we're going with. It's a little fluffy. And that goes, I'm just gonna do a line up and over. And it's a little shaky, but that's okay because we can always fill it in. And then this one starts here, goes up and over. I can already see that I didn't bring it high enough. Okay. All right, what we're gonna do here is take some white, or not white, some light blue that's somehow miraculously still wet, and just cover up this spot like it never happened. And then we're gonna try again in a second. All right, I'm gonna take my thing and try to fill in this eyebrow. Okay, so trying to make it thicker towards the middle of the face and thinner as it goes out. I need some more water. All right, cute. I'm not gonna touch it. All right, and now let's do this side. I'm just gonna bring this up higher, and then bring it around. Okay, I messed up right there, but I know that I still have that blue, that light blue that'll fix everything. Yes, that one, that light blue. I'm just gonna try to pick up any wet paint that I have. I'm gonna go back to this light blue savior and go over where I messed up. All right, I'm gonna go around the edge of her eyebrow, and it's going to help me sharpen it. There, okay. I'm gonna leave it. Wait. Actually, I wanna make this a little thicker. Just a light. Okay. Okay, okay, gorgeous. All right, and now I want to paint her eyeball. Eyeballs are not white. Please don't use pure white for the white part of the eye. I know it looks white, it's a lie. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take my brush, clean it. I'm using like a flat brush right here. I'm gonna fix it because it's like splayed out a little bit. I'm going to use this blue. That's weird. All right, I'm gonna use this blue, some white. I'm gonna make a very, very light blue. And of course, I got some blue, some more extra blue than I wanted in there. Okay. You know what? It's because there's all these other colors mixed in with my white. I would be better off just getting a different splotch of white on there because that is too far gone. All right, I'm just going to use the paint I have on my paintbrush and mix. Okay, see how that's white, but it still has blue in it? I want a little bit more blue in there. And that's the color we're going to use. All right. I'm going to see if I can do it with this brush, and if not, I'm going to change out brushes. Okay, I'm only going to do like the bottom half of her eyeball this color because there will be some shading. All right, that's what we have so far. Okay, I just came back. I took a little short break. This reminds me so much of Monster High colors. Like, that's nuts. I actually kind of really love it. I called my cousin before starting and I was like, give me 2 colors. And she said, oh, sorry, I'm picking up a brush. She said purple and blue. And honestly, such a good color combination. As I said before, you can do this with literally any colors you want. So if you want to copy me exactly, go ahead. You're totally allowed to. I hope we've already established this. I want you to copy me. Okay. But also, oh, this is so pretty. I love it so much. All right. I love getting excited about my work. Okay. Now I'm going to make a darker color, blue, and I'm actually changing brushes because that's too thick for comfort. And as my stuff falls over, let's put in this other color. Oh my gosh, that's already so similar to the one that's on there. Well, I guess it's meant to be. Here. Let's take the color we made and the color I mixed with. We're gonna make a whole new color, and that's gonna be our transition color. Gorgeous. Oh look, it looks all blended now, even though I didn't blend a thing. I'm just mixing colors. Yay! All right. Now that that looks all blended and pretty, I'm gonna add, so our eyeballs have these little tear ducts. And sometimes, sorry if this is grossing you out, sometimes the tear duct is a little shiny, you see? You see that little shiny in the corner? We're gonna paint that. So the tear duct is purple. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of white to our purple and do a little dot for our tear duct. And that is gonna make it feel so realistic. You're gonna be like, oh my god, that was so easy. Yeah, I know, it was so easy. That's all it takes. Sorry, I have had too many energy drinks today. I am just blah 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 blah. I don't know. Alright, I came up with this color. Let's see if we like it. Gonna do a little boop. Boom. So realistic. Alright, clean that off. That is a little bit of a harsh transition, so I'm just gonna take some purple, make it a little bit darker like that. And then just go like around the eye. Cute. Alright, I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I love it. I love it so much. That needs to be a little darker on that side though. Thanks. This needs to be a little bit darker. Even darker. Guys, I'm so sorry if my head is in the way for a lot of this. I'm so sorry. I sincerely am trying my best, but I have a bad habit of shoving my whole head in the way so that I can see what's going on. And I'm sincerely sorry. And I also want to add a little highlight for, like, what do they call it? The underlid, like the waterline. I want to make that like a, what do they call it? What? Like a purpley. And then I want to add a highlight. Take that same purple, take some white, make that stuff lighter. And then we're just gonna lightly go across the tear duct. Isn't it so cute? So cute. Okay. Now we're going to paint in the actual, I think they call it an iris, like the colored part, as well as the pupil. I'm taking my pure violet and I'm just going to draw in the little guy there. Now, I drew her eyes a little bit more open than right there. So because I still want that side eye, I'm just going to raise it up a little bit. Like that. And there you go. There you go. Beautiful. And I'm going straight violet for the pupil. And then her eyes are kind of like a mid-tone color. So I'm just going to lighten up some purple. it in here. This is a good time to round out the pupil if you messed up. Because let's just be honest, circles are really hard. Circles are hard to paint. All right, and now we're going to make a lighter purple for the brighter parts. So that's going to be towards the bottom. And then eyes are constructed of little cones. Think of like a pinwheel. Like they're like all pointing in. So when I'm painting the highlights, I'm painting like this is the pupil. I'm painting them like pointed in around the circle, if that makes any sense to you. And I'm following the highlight that I made on the actual eye. So like since this is lightened, I'm lightening that. There you go. Isn't that cute? All right, and then we can take even more white. How do you know I was gonna say that? All right. Now let's add the little dot in the eyeball. Boop. Boop. All right. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, and now I feel confident enough to move on to the hair. We're really going through this, guys. The hair really, I don't think will take that long. I don't know yet. Let's do this though. All right, I have a 1/2 inch brush right here, and I'm debating on if I should start with my darks or, you know what? We should just, I think I'm gonna start out with my dark. I think I'm just gonna go in with straight purple. And let's just go at it. All right. I need to add some water to this. This purple's been sitting out for a minute. It's a little dehydrated. Much smoother. I'm trying to think about the direction of the hair as I'm painting it. Something that's very important. Adding a little bit more water to this paint. You know what? This really like hugs her face. I'm just going to be confident. Just be confident. It's okay. It's just a painting. I know this is scary. Everything seems very big and scary. And you don't want to mess it up because you put a lot of work into this. And you know what? Good for freaking you. Good for you. You put this much work into it. And now you're like, well, it'd be a shame if I messed it up now. But you're not going to mess it up, honey. You're not. It's just paint. You can always just paint over it. And this is also just one step in your journey. It's all just, you're just baby stepping like all the time. That's all I'm doing. I'm just baby stepping all the time. And that's how we get anywhere. We have to take little baby steps, and that's okay. And so part of the process, and we're gonna have fun while doing it, gosh darn it. And if I want to paint pretty Monster High-esque women, I will. All right. You know, I learned from Bob Ross that if you make sound effects, it helps. So, just saying, learning from the greats. They also do it in karate, so there must be something to it. I took, like, some karate classes as a child. Not that many, but some. And they really insist you make those noises. So it must be something to do with, like, you know, connection of the body or like movement or committing to the movement. I don't know. Something. Okay. All right. Gorgeous. We do have some little baby hairs, but I think I'm gonna paint those with a thinner brush. I'm just going for the big shapes right now. Big shapes. All right. And now let's go over here. Pretty, okay. This part is a little scary. But we did it. We did it. Oh, yes. So it goes, we're just gonna do this. Just gonna go in and then back out and then in. There we go. And then her hair looks like it's like tucked in right here. And then it goes down. I have some string here and have this just go right down off the canvas. And this also goes around. Careful, SpongeBob. Careful, SpongeBob. That's all I'm thinking right now. Careful, SpongeBob. This is where I could mess up and want to cry myself to sleep. But we're not going to do that. We're going to take our time and everything will be okay. Gorgeous. Freaking gorgeous. Okay, we got this, guys. We got this. I'm just gonna fill in this bit. Get my anxious energy out. You know, they say that this is supposed to be like soothing. But for me, it's like a brain exercise. Okay. Okay. Deep breaths, everyone. You see a little bit of her scalp. I'm just going to leave a little bit right there, and then I can add that in a moment. All right. Goth Patty. Oh my gosh, how do I still have storage? I love that for me. Oh my god. If this stops and doesn't save, I think I'm gonna cry. I think I'm gonna actually cry, and we're not gonna. It's gonna go well. I'm not manifesting that. No, it's gonna save. I have all the storage in the world on my phone. All the storage in the world. Okay. Now we're gonna paint the big shapes for the highlights. So we have some right here, some way back here, goes down. Highlights will go around like that. Beautiful. All right. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Really trying to think about where the light is hitting. Observing with our eyes, not our brain, because our brain is going to say, oh, it's here, and it's going to be wrong. We have to observe with our eyes, not our brain. All right. Uh-oh. I had to remix this color. I hope it's the same shade. Okay. You know what? It's slightly lighter, but I'm not mad about it. No. Really not mad about it. That's like behind her here, and then this. You can come in. All right. Sorry if you can hear my husband in the hallway. All right, let's do this. This is going to be in the light. And then let's just make these. There we go. And then have some, it like goes from light and then it gets dark as it goes up into this, into up behind her head right there. All right. I'll put a little bit more water in that. Beautiful. All right, and then Okay. All right. Mhm. 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 Gorgeous. Okay, now let's take our thin brush, go back to our pure violet. Why don't we put in some nice small pieces? Oh my gosh, what did I just do? And if you have to take your time with these, that's totally okay. I think that the itty bitty baby bits are trickier than the thick bits, especially if you have shaky hands like me, but that's okay, because you can do it. Then I can add some lines to help separate this hair some more. Adding texture. We're just thinking some. We're not going to do all of it, but some texture is awesome. And if you're like, man, I wish I didn't do that, just go back on with your light color. Pretend like it never happened. That's all good. No one will know. How would they know? How would they know? And then we could even add in her little sleeve on the shoulder if we wanted to. so that she's not naked. All right, let's do this. I'm just going back through and making this line a bit crisper. It is so challenging to make crispy lines on canvas. I should probably prep my my canvas with what do they call it, like gesso or something, and then sand it. But you know what, dude? I don't have patience for that. I've tried doing that. That's not for me. I'd rather just sit here and fix every single line. As backwards as that sounds, that's just how it is with me. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Alright. Cute. If we wanted to, we could add some even, like, some little tiny baby highlights in the hair. I'm just making a light purple, and I'm just going to make little lines following where the hair falls. Adorable. Alright. We don't want to overdo it with the highlights, but I don't know, I like a good highlight. Oh. And then you can just smudge it and blend it in. It's fine. It's okay. You're just emphasizing certain little hairs. Oh Jesus. Well, okay. That was intentional. Alright, dude, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I want to fix something and it doesn't want to fix. And I think I need to make this bottom part right here a little bit more piecey because right now it feels like thick. Like, what if I just need to bring this out more? There we go. Because, yeah, that was not sitting right with me at all. Hmm. Hmm. All right, and this would not be a proper copy if I didn't include that little thing right there. Her necklace. Okay. Now, this may look tricky, but everything is gonna be okay, and I just have to keep telling myself that, alright? Alright, I'm taking my straight sky blue, and I'm going to paint this little circle right here in the divot of her, what do you even call that? This little divot right there. I don't know what to call that. Alright. And then oh my gosh, it's so blurry. It's like murder. Alright, you know what? To make this more beginner friendly, I'm just going to do a line like that and a line around her neck like this. Right? We're gonna make that line a little bit thicker because we're going to just throw on a highlight on top of that. Okay, we're gonna take this blue, mix it with some white. We'll make it really bright. Like really bright like this. All right. And then I'm going to put a little bit of white on this side, a little bit of white on this side of the circle. Gorgeous. And then, well, I'm calling it white. It's not white. It's just a very light blue. All right. And then I'm going to make little lines that go down like this in a diagonal. And these lines are going to curve up. Perfect. And then I'm going to make the lines that go around. So I'm trying to make like, here, I'll draw it on my, I'm going around this way and then I'm like hooking it around. So it's almost like two C's. It's okay if you mess up because we're going to be putting a shadow in anyway. I'm going to go back in with my straight sky blue I started with, and I'm going to make a little separation between the ones that didn't separate, and there we go. All right. Separation. And then I'm going to take a little bit of purple and a little bit of blue and make some shadow. Mix this together. I'm making this color slightly different to help differentiate between the colors. I'm gonna take a little, I have a little mistake right here. I'm taking a little bit of water, brushing it over, and then quickly dabbing with a paper towel. There, it's like it never happened. All right, I need to fix this. These details are so small, it's kind of implied to some extent. All right, gorgeous. I actually really love, like from afar, it actually looks pretty decent. Okay, awesome. This up here is a bit darker, so let me do that. Yeah, I like it. Oh, and I forgot her freckles. Let's do her freckles real quick. I'm gonna go in with just sky blue. Make her freckles blue. I have a really thin brush, and I like to spin it on my, what do they call it, on my palette, like in my color, and then it actually helps point the brush a little bit if it's not pointy. And I'm gonna just go and apply some freckles. I'm trying to do them in the general area that I see them in. Around her nose. It's okay if some are bigger than others. That's okay. Freckles aren't all the same size. Don't fret about it. Now I'm just kind of filling it in. just go until you're happy, I guess. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Let me think. Oh, I could add some little baby hairs up at the top. But first, I need to go in with a light blue and color in her scalp. I think it's because I add some blending gel. This blending gel, seriously, it will keep your paint alive for so long. It is crazy. I love it so much. I think this shadow is a little harsh, to be honest. That's fine. Yeah. All right. Pretty. Now let's go in with some purple and add some little baby hairs. Not doing a ton, just a little bit of detail. Just so she doesn't look bald right there. I'm gonna fix this one area because I can really see like a harsh line right there, and I just want it to be one color more, like, you know what I mean? Okay, gorgeous. And here is how I finish painting my way. All right. I personally like to add some fun texture in the background using the same colors that I used in this painting. All right. I'm gonna add some variations. So I'm going to have a dark purple. I want to have a light purple. So we'll just put that right next to it. And I want a blue and dark blue. A light blue and a dark blue. And sometimes I throw some white in there too. Okay, but this is what I'm doing. Maybe I'll make like, I don't know, a combination of the blue and the purple, and I'll throw that in there, you know? So I did use some of that. I don't know. I like to have fun with it. I like to, I don't know, it feels like it's giving it energy in a way. You know what I mean? It's almost like an aura or something. All right, we got our blue and our light blue. We can add a really light blue if we want. All right, now that we have our colors mixed, I'm just going to go ahead and dip this in here. And I like to go around the character. And I'm just gonna play with this until I'm done. And I will get back to you when it's finished. Alright, now the last thing I need to do is sign it. Where's a brush? It's good to make sure that the signature is a little bit away from the corner right there. There we go. There's my signature. Okay, this took 2.5 hours to make. I'm gonna write down the info on the back. Alright, I named her Carmilla. Here she is. What do we think? Here's a nice close-up. necklace didn't turn out too horrible. Alright, thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully this tutorial was somewhat understandable and followable. I really hope that you painted along with me, and if you want to show me what you made, I really want to see, you can go ahead and DM me on Instagram. It's ahmackie_art. And yeah, anyway, super happy about how this turned out, and I really hope that you found it informational and that you had fun painting along. That's all I have for you today. I will be back next week, so you better follow for more tutorials and other painting things. So yeah, anyway, have a great day. I'll see ya. Love you, bye!